Could you name 5 neighborhoods that had been racially integrated for more than 2 decades in Philadelphia? You can't.
In a city that is largely poor and segregated.
We live in bubbles, black bubbles, Latino bubbles, Asian bubbles.
Here we are, it's 50 years after the height of the civil rights movement, and Philadelphia remains a largely segregated city.
Big mad, little man.
It makes me real mad.
I'm gonna say or no.
I'm pissed to the max.
Oh yeah, it makes me very angry.
Yep to the yep. You already know what time it is. It's your girl P.O.C. and I'm back for another edition of Mad or Nah. Among the 30 biggest cities, Philadelphia is second to Chicago in its level of segregation between black and white residents, according to the data from Brown University. The Philadelphia Inquirer reports that the city's position near the top rankings of segregated places has stayed almost the same since 1980. So I hit the streets to ask residents, does the lack of desegregation in Philly make them mad or not? Keep your radios locked.
Segregation, I mean, I see it, like, I live in South Philly, so I personally can see some of it. Like, I just see it comes to ethnicity, race, and stuff like that, culture. So I do see it. Do I see a change? It just all comes to acceptance of other people, but there is, like, evident segregation and, like, racial divide within this population. I've been in Philly my whole life, and I do see it to this day still. So.
And if you don't mind just asking your first name and what part of the city do you represent?
My name's Ryan, and I'm from South Philadelphia.
It definitely would make me mad, but I've been mad for years because it's been happening forever. I mean, it's just an ongoing process, you know. It's like they moving us out to try to move back in when they left in the first place. So I think it's all money. They just want to be closer to downtown because that's where they work at. You know what I mean? They try to push us to the suburbs now, but no, we got to stand up. You know, the minorities, they can't pay the taxes, then they take over the property, then they go buy the property, and then they put their people in.
And what part of the city do you live in?
Right now I live in Mayfair, but I'm from West Mount Airy.
I think gentrification in general is kind of bittersweet, right? I think that, yes, it's good to fix up neighborhoods that, you know, where historically there may have been a lot of violence, but it's also pushing out residents who have lived there for years and years and years and, you know, raising taxes to the point where they can't afford to live in the houses that they've pretty much worked their entire lives to pay off or, you know, are still working to pay off. I think we need to do more to bridge the gap between, you know, young, old, rich, poor, black, white. I think it's important for us to come together as a community. And then hopefully with that comes, you know, more integration and being able to live closer together and less segregation, less pocketed communities.
Thank you. And if you don't mind just sharing what part of the city do you represent and your first name?
Yeah, my first name is Molly. I live in East Falls, but I grew up in South Philly. I went to school in North Philly, so Philly's been my life. I've kind of been all over the place.
Well, I am new to the city. I moved here in like August 2020, and I really have enjoyed the city, but my partner goes to Penn, and it's so obvious how much Penn is taking over all of that area of West Philly. So it like makes me sad knowing that like my experience of Philadelphia is like just kind of the experience of gentrification. So,
and if you don't mind just asking what's your first name and what part of the city do you represent?
My first name's Margot, and I live in Center City.
It's not fair because they're pushing black folks out. Where are we going to go? They're taking houses, they're taking churches. That's my comment.
And if you don't mind just sharing what part of the city do you represent?
I'm in Winfield now, but I used to be in South Philly.
Yes, I think it's the government need to taking care about the resident, most the Philadelphia, the citizen, the homeless. You know, a lot of homeless right now. They need to taking care of that if they want Philadelphia to get better. I'm living in Delaware County, but I'm work here, and my family is living in Philly too. So,
are you mad, or are you not mad?
Does it make me mad? No, because anger will come from a place of surprise. I mean, this is America where racism is nothing new, capitalism is nothing new, segregation, discrimination, prejudice is nothing new.
Tune in, 90.9 FM. Are you mad or nah? Follow Revive Radio, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Revive_POC.